Yo, what's up? Funny MMA. How's it going, guys? Haven't posted one of these prediction videos in a while. I've been really busy with some other shit. I put up a couple videos recently, the Bisping Trash Talk video, as well as the Colby Covington versus Usman one, and the Colby Cringe video. I've actually been working on a couple other projects, but I'm literally sitting on about 30 MMA videos ready to drop. They should be up by the end of the month. I'm just waiting for a couple things to finalize in my personal life. And then starting end of June/July, I'm just going to be uploading multiple videos a week. It's going to be sick. It's going to be like the old days. It's going to be great. Anyways, today I'm going to be covering the UFC 225 predictions. Man, this card's fucking stacked. Obviously, I knew the main fights that were going to happen on it, but I just got home from work and I took a peekaboo at the entire card, like the prelims. Holy shit! There's a lot of fucking crazy fights on here. Half the fights on the prelims could headline fight nights, in my opinion. It's a really stacked card. Anyways, just for time, I'm going to be really brief, but I'll make a separate video for the main card fights as well. Okay, Clay Guida versus Charles Oliveira. This is a really winnable fight for both of these fighters. Clay Guida, really good wrestler, really well-rounded, great cardio. His only real vulnerability lately is that he can get KO'd now, a lot easier than he used to be able to. I mean, see his fight with Brian Ortega, he was arguably winning, and then he just got caught in the third round. Charles Oliveira, he folds under pressure against high-level power hitters, okay? But Clay Guida is not one of those, so this would be his fight to lose. I see this starting out on the feet, and Clay Guida trying to avoid the takedown because Oliveira has such a slick submission game, but I could easily see Oliveira catching him in something like a triangle, armbar, anything on the ground. Oliveira is quite beatable, but it's usually guys that hit really hard or top 10s that beat him, and Guida at this point is not either one of those. I could see Guida pulling off a decision win, but I would say that Oliveira is going to get a submission win in the second or third round. Rashad Evans versus Anthony Smith. This is a bad fight for Rashad, honestly. This dude is a really good fighter, but it seems like he loses his speed advantage at 185, and he just hasn't performed very well his last couple fights. He's not too old. He's definitely past his prime, and now he's in USADA testing. So he has not performed as well as he used to, and it's very apparent. Anthony Smith is a really good fighter. He's got sick power, sick striking. He's fucking huge. He's got good takedown defense, good cardio, lots of aggression, lots of heart, is known for finishing guys in the third round when they wear out. I could easily see him knocking out Rashad Evans, especially now that Rashad is not as aggressive and he's a lot more chinny these days. Now, Evans is still a way better fighter, technically speaking, but he's older, he's slowing down, he doesn't have the speed advantage at 185, and Anthony Smith is just a really hard hitter. And I feel like he's just going to walk through Evans' shots and put him away in the later rounds. It's too bad because Evans is a world beater, but he just can't take shots anymore like he used to. And Anthony Smith is a lot younger and hungrier than him at this point. Lamas versus Bektic. This is a squash fight for Ricardo Lamas. Bektic's really good, really talented, but after he lost to Darren Elkins, he kind of just went off the rails. He's really good when he's a front runner, but in the later rounds, as you see, he'll open himself up to shots. Ricardo Lamas is just a top 5 perennial contender. And his fight with Josh Emmett, where he got knocked out, was a devastating loss. I mean, some people even call it fluky, but he's still a way better fighter. He's still a way better fighter, technically, than the Mirsad Bektics of the world, and I don't see him losing to anybody outside of the top 5. This will be an easy decision for Ricardo Lamas and possibly a TKO finish in the later rounds if Bektic slows down. Gadelha versus Esparza, don't care, skip. You know, I like Claudia Gadelha, so I'm rooting for her because I think she's funny, but other than that, I don't care about this fight. Overeem versus Blades. This is a really good fight, and it's a good opportunity for Blades to shock the world and win a big fight. Now, Overeem should win this fight 9 times out of 10. On paper, he's still a top 3. He only loses to the champions. Almost beat Stipe, and then he got starched by Ngannou. I mean, fuck, what a KO. But the thing is, though, Overeem is getting older. He is slower, but he's such a masterfully precise heavyweight. He's kind of like Mark Hunt in that he may age and he may have been knocked out a couple times, but he's still dangerous, and he's going to be until he's like 45 years old because he hits so hard, he has perfect timing, and he just knows how to win fights. Blades is a wrestler. He's going to try and take him down, absolutely, but Overeem has insane takedown defense, and Overeem is not completely washed up. Now, Overeem might play it safe, and it'll go to a 3-round decision because he just lost to Ngannou, and he's probably not going to want to get hit. But this is Overeem's fight to win. The only way I see Blades winning is if he fakes a takedown and lands like a monster hook or something like that. Catches Overeem totally off guard. I just don't see that happening, though. I got Overeem by decision, possibly a KO. CM Punk versus Mike Jackson. Man, lots of people don't want to see this fight happen. They say, oh, he doesn't deserve to be in the UFC, and UFC is supposed to be the best fighters in the world. It is for the best fighters in the world. But every so often, it's very fun to watch a freak show fight. It's literally a squash match. You got Mike Jackson, who's just not a great fighter. He has, 2 or 3 fights, and I think he's 0-1 in the pros. CM Punk, obviously, he's an athlete. I mean, he's a wrestler, but he's still an athlete, and he has a huge following, so lots of people are tuning in to watch this fight. And it is pretty interesting to see what an average Joe could do to an amateur-level MMA fighter. Now, I call Mike Jackson an amateur-level MMA fighter because his record is not the best, and he has lost his pro debut, and he did lose his one pro fight against Mickey Gall. Anyways, the one thing I could take away from this is that CM Punk doesn't give a fuck. He'll go out there swinging. He just wants to entertain the fans. But that's a bad thing because if you noticed in his training and in his last fight with Mickey Gall, he leaves himself completely open to counter strikes. I mean, he literally charged at him, hands down, swung wild, and if Mickey Gall stayed on the feet and decided to just counter this guy, he would have put him to sleep. I don't see CM Punk backing up or trying to be overly defensive or technical. He's literally looking to brawl. He's looking to put on a show. So he's going to leave himself wide open, and I see Mike Jackson just knocking him out. Brutal KO. Mike Jackson isn't the best striker either. He's probably going to try and take him down, but if Mike Jackson decides to stand, he's just going to knock out CM Punk. It's only a matter of time. It's going to be a really good KO, guaranteed. If CM Punk wins, holy fuck, that would be crazy. Andrei Arlovski versus Tuvesa. Now, Tuvesa is a good guy. I like him. He's funny. He's pretty entertaining for a heavyweight, but he has not faced anyone near the caliber of Andrei Arlovski. The only way he wins this fight is if Arlovski is completely washed up and he just runs in there and Brett Rogers him. I don't see Tuvesa being a Brett Rogers-esque fighter. I don't see him being that aggressive and running Arlovski down. I think Arlovski still has a lot left in the tank. He's still a great striker, very fast. His right hand is still a fucking piston. And if Tai Tuvesa or whatever, I don't even know how you pronounce it, but if Buddy runs in there trying to be aggressive and brawl with Arlovski right away, I just see Arlovski throwing a straight right down the pipe, just dropping him dead in his tracks. I feel like Andre is going to try and be a little bit safer in this fight. I mean, he's trying to put a win streak back together. Then again, he is on a 2-fight win streak, both those by decision, and both the guys he fought prior to this are arguably better fighters than Tuvesa. So maybe he will get a little aggressive, maybe he will go for a finish. Andre should win by decision, but I have a feeling he might actually KO this dude just because he has a little bit of his confidence back now that he has a win streak going. Holly Holm versus Megan Anderson. This is a good fight, but it's going to be a 3-round decision for Holly Holm. She's just going to outwork her on the feet. She's going to jab the shit out of her, leg kick the shit out of her. Megan Anderson's just going to be able to get nothing done, and Holly's going to win a unanimous decision. Dos Anjos versus Covington. This is a fucking tough fight to pick, man. Damn. Honestly, I have a lot invested in this fight because I've been watching Colby build himself into this absolute villain of MMA. People just hate this dude. He's fucking created such a buzz around him with all these insults towards Brazil, to people on the internet, to nerds. It's fucking hilarious. And people don't realize this, but he's literally trolling just so that he can get attention for people to actually purchase the pay-per-view, watch his fights. I mean, he's arguably talking himself into a title shot if he wins this fight. Now, style-wise, Colby is a great wrestler. He's tough as fuck. I mean, even Fabricio couldn't take him out with a fucking boomerang. His striking's okay. His power, it's okay. He's not the fastest guy, but he has sick endurance, sick clinch game. He's got good enough takedowns to cause trouble against RDA, and he's just a really well-rounded fighter. The most important things here are that he's tough and he has great cardio and he's very well-rounded because RDA is a fucking monster. Now, Rafael Dos Anjos, I'd say, is more well-rounded than Colby Covington. The only difference here is that RDA is faster, has better combinations, and more power. RDA, however, has less of a wrestling pedigree than Colby. So Colby's got better wrestling and RDA has better striking. Basic. But at the same time, they're still very evenly matched. Now, RDA is very good in there, even though Colby talked a lot of trash. One thing I like about RDA is that he doesn't take anything personally. He's going to go in there completely relaxed, as if Colby didn't really say anything, and fight as if he would fight somebody super respectful, like, say, Wonder Boy, Machida, etc. RDA is going to be looking to stop the takedowns, keep it on the feet, outland Colby, keep him away, and try to work his body with legs, kicks, knees, and a solid 1-2. A lot of this fight is going to be Colby threatening the takedown. Obviously, he's going to try and get the takedown, but one of the reasons that Colby's strikes are going to land in this fight is because he's going to try and make RDA guess, is he going to shoot for a takedown? Is he going to throw a punch? What's he going to do? If this is a pure striking match, RDA would light him the fuck up. But since it's not, Colby's going to use this to his advantage. RDA is going to have his hands down a lot more because he's worried about that double. So he's going to let Colby make this a much more closer contested fight on the feet. Colby's kicks, not very good. His punches, they're okay. He's very tough, and he has great cardio, and he will continuously walk RDA down, try to clinch with him, dirty box him, get him to the ground if he can. Just try and beat him up, really. The way Colby wins fights is he basically out-toughs them, just kind of slowly but surely grinds them down. He's like an improved version of Darren Elkins. RDA has so many tools to win this fight. I mean, at any second, he could just snap a head kick. He can rip a combo against the cage. His punches are so powerful. He has knees. He has elbows. His leg kicks are devastating. He's just a really, really skilled fighter. This fight could go either way. I'm leaning towards Rafael Dos Anjos just because he has more tools in the striking, and it's going to be a fight contested on the feet. I don't know if he can even finish Colby, though, because I feel like this is going to be a 5-round decision where Colby lands a couple takedowns, tries to wear out RDA, but RDA lands way more volume, beats him up, and Colby just basically eats a bunch of punches, but in the end, gets outpointed. Sick fight, though. If either one of these guys finish the other, I'm going to lose my shit because that would be fucking awesome. Seeing Colby get knocked out after all the trash he's talked, damn, that'd be epic. But at the same time, he talks all this trash, and then he beats RDA. Colby beats him, he's definitely getting a title shot, and then all that trash talk really sold him as a villain. The main event, Whittaker versus Romero. This is a really tough fight to call. Honestly, I was very conflicted last time. I thought that Romero won the early rounds, and then slowly but surely, Whittaker started to adjust to what he was doing and just outpoints him. He was able to keep him away with a front kick the whole fight. Once Romero gassed a little bit, took his foot off the pedal, Whittaker just outpointed him, outstruck him, and it was a pretty easy decision. Whittaker fought the perfect fight. He was injured, but I just don't see how he can really do anything different this fight because he already faced top-level Romero and managed to beat him. However, I feel like Romero has the advantage here because besides the fact the first fight was on a limited training camp of only 6 weeks, we've seen Romero improve drastically between each fight he's had in the UFC. In his last fight against Rockhold, he looked incredible. He arguably outstruck Rockhold, who is considered one of the best strikers in the middleweight division, and knocked him the fuck out of nowhere in the second round. One thing Romero is really good at, and we saw this in his last fight, is pacing himself. Now, obviously, he gassed a little bit against Whittaker, but what I see him doing this time is not going for as many takedowns as he did in the first fight. The takedowns really wore him out. I feel like Romero's going to try and stay on the feet and be a little more cautious with trying to score points and more so concerned with getting a finish, which is what he did against Rockhold. It really impressed me because he went literally minutes at a time without throwing much, just feinting, and then would unleash these powerful combos the second his opponent lets their guard down. Whittaker is super tough, but he can be finished by strikes. We saw that against Wonderboy. He ate a straight punch down the pipe and was KO'd by Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and I feel like Romero could definitely do that if he hits him clean. Romero didn't really land clean in the last fight. Every punch he landed that was substantial, Whittaker saw it coming and was able to brace for it a little bit. But it's the punches like the one he threw against Rockhold that he was setting up for literally a round and a half before finally uncorking it and just dropping him brutally with one strike. Those are the strikes that Whittaker can't take. And those are the strikes that I think Romero are going to incorporate into this fight. Romero's not going to go for a decision here. He's going for the finish. He's going to be very smart. He's going to hopefully address the kick, the front kick that allowed Whittaker to keep the distance the first fight. He's not going to gas himself out with takedowns, and he's just going to hold his energy, be patient, be cautious, try and win rounds, but at the same time, save up for the combos and catch Whittaker in the scrambles off guard. I predict Romero is going to learn from his mistakes the first fight and finish Robert Whittaker TKO/KO third round of the fight. It's going to be a crazy fight. I feel like Whittaker has the potential to be a champion, but I feel like Romero just has this fight in the bag. It's weird saying this because Whittaker already beat him, but I think that Romero having 2 chances at this fight, he's actually going to pull off the rematch. He's going to learn from his mistakes, and he's going to finish. Anyways, guys, if you have predictions for the fights, be sure to comment them below. Let me know what round, who do you think is going to win, how are they going to win, and we'll see what happens fight night. Thanks for watching Funny MMA. I know I've been slacking on the videos lately, but like I said, end of June, early July, I'm just going to be sending out waves of Funny MMA videos. It's going to be great. If you guys have any ideas for videos that you want to see, just comment below. I'll do my best to make them, okay? All right, go get fucked. See you later.